Hey y'all, welcome to the Figuring It Out With You podcast with your favorite mother-daughter duo, where we're in an ever-growing conversation with each other and you all, just trying to figure out how to make the most of the life we've all been given.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Kay.
And let's get this conversation started for today. I'm Kim.
And I'm Kay.
Now let's get this conversation started for the day.
Yeah, y'all. So today we're going to be talking about this topic that I think both of us, I think is pretty like near and dear to our hearts, if you will. And it's something that also I think we've just been talking about recently a lot. And that is, my friends, how materialism is robbing us all of community. Now, where do we even want to begin with this? What I guess it might be helpful to start with what do we mean by that? Obviously, like the word robbing is very like intense.
Aggressive.
Yeah, and like it might be like just an interesting, like I guess, phrase like materialism robbing us of community. What does that even mean? So, what does that mean to you, Molly?
What that means to me is that this society, this world is so focused on obtaining wealth, having material things, cars, money, houses, to the point that we don't really think about our community and what we could have together. It's just geared, everything is just geared towards get what you need, get it for yourself, have what you have. And basically we have homeless people living on the streets, while we have on the other side of the spectrum multimillionaires writing off billions of dollars a year. Well, billionaires writing off millions of dollars a year in taxes, so they don't have to pay taxes. It's just really like I'm just really ashamed of where our society has come. Because if we could all just think about our community and think about our brothers and sisters as a collective, we could all pull together our resources to help each other. So when I hear materialism is robbing us of our community, that's what I think about. We're not thinking about the collective. We're only thinking about our own individual selves and how we can prosper and how we can progress, when we should be thinking about the whole community progressing.
Yeah, that's interesting because I usually think about that too. And I also think about at the same time, I feel like materialism is like one of those forces that's literally so like pervasive in our society now that I think it just like seeps into every part of your existence and zaps out the life and vitality. But what I really mean by that is that I think that there are even a great amount of people that actually they do feel like they want to be able to give back, but because their understanding of like the purpose of life as like this, I have to like I have to basically like win materialism before I can do that. It's like this never ending like cycle of like I'm spending every effort to like make money, and then I do want to give back to my community. I do want my family to also be able to succeed with me, but because my view of it is so like I have to like make this amount of money first, it's like in the end, most people when they die, maybe they find that they didn't give back as much as they wanted to because they never reached this like finishing point. They never reached like I've made it, like I'm materially prosperous, so I can now give back. Because I think like materialism is kind of like tricks people into thinking like that one, the same amount of wealth is attainable for everybody, and then that two, you will reach it. Like if with concerted effort, you will reach it sooner rather than later. And so then it kind of creates this false sense of like, okay, if I just spend this amount of time focusing on only myself and my material means, I could then give back at a later point in my life. I don't know, maybe when I'm 40 or 50, depending on when I'm starting. But more often than not, people, they spend their life and they realize that was not quite how it's going to work out. And also, when I think about it, because it robs of community, I think about how it also just makes us so sad. Like I feel like the world right now, especially in America, I think I'm not so familiar with other countries. Naturally, I don't live in other countries, or also I'm not as familiar. But I want to be. But I feel like in America, at least, also, I think we are seeing like you were talking about, the divide between like the rich and the poor growing. But also, I think we are also at the same time seeing like lower middle class or middle class like living becoming more popular, like more people are able to now be a part of like this lower middle class, which is nice because that means that people are like kind of moving up economically. But at the same time, even though we're seeing kind of increases in like, I think at a large level, like people are going to school more and being able to get better jobs. You know, in general, broad sweeps, we're like seeing more growth. But at the same time, I think we're also seeing like more like depression or like, you know, more of these mental things because like people are making more money, but like they're doing so by working like 50 hours a week and they like never
Right.
see their friends and like they don't know how their mom is doing and like they're really sad and they live by themselves in this really small apartment and they don't cook meals because cooking, they don't have time to cook and they just eat at McDonald's and it's just like, we're also sad, but I guess we have money to pay our rent. But yeah, that's what I think about.
Yeah, and I think that this American culture, the way that we were raised and taught, is so skewed compared to the world, in comparison to the world, because here in America, everybody leaves their parents' home and they go to establish their own home. In a lot of cultures, everyone stays in the same house.
Yeah.
As a collective, everybody is there to help and support each other. I could not imagine how much better my life would have been if your grandmother had been present with me to help me take care of y'all. You know, so I think that we need to think about more about being a family and being a community unit, because that's the basis of the community, is the family. And I know it might seem like it's good to have your own, but is it really good if everyone's paying 12 mortgages and 12 cents of insurance? And with the way this economy is going, it might be better to just get one house and everybody just stay there and support each other. But that's something to think about. I think that that's not really an option here in America, in our society, but I'm all for it. I want to build like a whole compound with just my family. That's my goal, to just have maybe 3 or 4 acres of land and put a house out there for everybody, because I love my family. And I think that that community piece is really necessary.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I agree 1,000% that like we do need to figure out what it looks like to have like, yeah, just more space for community in our life because I think also it seems, at least, obviously I don't know much. Like I'm not, I feel like sometimes I say things I'm like, as we've seen in this place, I actually don't know. I haven't seen anything anywhere. But I have the idea that I feel like there are definitely communities, not that I know any by example, where people are working together on like they are like, okay, yes, we all do need to be educated. And maybe like growing in community doesn't mean that I can't go to college to further my education, but then they have this understanding that as a community they're all going to be contributing. So it's not, so like a community of 20 people somewhere, like with this idea of like how community can work together, maybe all of them don't study nursing because they recognize that like, as it, like maybe if we were thinking individually, like maybe we all want to study nursing because we hear that that's like really like profitable, and we're all like, "Ooh, I want to be the one to get to the money." But in communities where they are thinking about each like the whole needs of the community, they will all decide like to study different things, and that way they have everything they need in their community. Um, so I feel like there has to be some way where it's like, I feel like the problem that we're seeing is that we haven't been able to harmonize them. It's like I think there are some people that do value community that maybe don't have access to like further in their education, or like I don't know, like maybe like some, maybe there's communities where they are very community oriented, um but maybe have less material means. But then there's other communities where people have like lots of money, but like they're so like individualistic that it only is benefiting like two people, and that's not really helpful either. I feel like there has to be some way to like
Merge those.
bring it together.
I agree. So what do you guys think? Do you see a divide in the community? Do you think that materialism is robbing us of our communities? We would love to hear your comments. Please drop those comments below.
Yeah.
Also, if you have not done so, like and share. We love to figure it out with you.
Yeah.
And I think that community is very necessary going forward. I think that we are experiencing um, so much chaos because of the lack of community. Um, Everybody, like we said, is just thinking about what they need to do for themselves.
Yeah.
Even when we were talking about this the other day, you brought up when we were in the middle of the pandemic how everybody ran to buy the
Yeah.
toilet paper,
Yeah.
like thousands of rolls of toilet paper. Why?
Yeah.
If you aren't, I mean, you should just get enough for your house, right?
Yeah.
But of course, everybody's thinking, oh, I need this for myself, not thinking, well, if I just buy enough, there'll be more for my neighbors, but everybody's just thinking, oh, this is what I need for me. This is
Right.
what I need for my house.
Yeah. I'm curious too. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut
No,
you
you can
off.
go ahead.
I'm curious, like, obviously, there are people that do think more similarly like this, but then also, I don't know. I feel like it's just like this hard thing of like, sometimes it's like, okay, maybe I agree with you all. This sounds great, but also like the bill still got to get paid. Like these kinds of like things. I feel like so. I'm curious, like for people that do kind of have this consciousness around like somehow I have to be able to succeed and be healthy and have everything I need as well as those around me. And like somehow I can't see those as two drastically different things. But I'm curious. I guess the crux of my question here is, what do you feel like it helps people, like for you personally? Like, I guess I'm trying to figure out like, how does this consciousness grow? Like, how is it that some people, like me and you, can come to think of it this way, and other people come to think of it like maybe see some of these same things and decide that due to what they see, they should actually go buy thousands of rolls of the toilet paper, or like how do you like? Yeah, I'm curious how you feel like personally for yourself. You've like come to have this viewpoint of life where you can be more like community oriented, and I'm also curious like for someone that hasn't had those same experiences, how do you think we, like, not necessarily we exactly, but like the world in general can help grow that consciousness?
Well, I would just say that I am a product of very, very humble beginnings. And I think that when you don't have a lot growing up, it gives you a better appreciation when you do start getting things.
I hear you.
So ministry is in me. I've always been a giver. I've always been concerned about others, to the point sometimes that it's to my detriment, So I think that, like I said, growing up in the 2-bedroom home, me, my brother, my sister, mom, dad, that gave me a lot of perspective. And then once I was able to get out and see the world, like, okay, everybody's not living like we're living, and so that gave me something to build on.
Right.
But some people are just in their environment. They never see anything different, to the point of those people that are born with money. They're born into these wealthy families. They don't see. I mean, riding down the street, they may see a homeless person or something, but they don't see a different environment. So that they don't have that perspective. So I think that just going through life, seeing things, interacting with different people, interacting with people from different nationalities, different backgrounds, it gives you a better understanding for life. And when you get to a place where you understand, it's as simple as giving. If I have $1, if I have $2, if I know my sister needs some lunch, let me bless her with some lunch. Yeah. If I know that someone needs gas, let me put gas in their car. It's simple things. I think it's not big, it's not hard. It's just thinking of someone else a little more than you think of yourself at any particular moment in time.
Yeah.
You never know what a tremendous blessing you'll be to someone.
That's true. Because then too, if everybody was thinking about somebody else more than they were, we would all be taken care of.
Right.
We would all be chilling. Yeah.
That's true. Very, very true.
Yeah. That's real. Yeah, man. What do y'all think? How do y'all think we can grow this consciousness, help more people to see that like materialism, it's really all lies. Like, I think that's the part that gets me, I think. Because when I look at my generation, like, we're young and like people, and I think every generation of young folks ever, I feel like all young people they're coming into the world. They see all these things they want. They got a lot of ambition. They're like, they want to do whatever it takes to get those things. But right now, the thing that is to get is just money. But like money by itself literally is like meaningless, you know? And so I think that's what saddens me, like looking around at my peers and like all their ambition and drive and like all they think that they want to get out of that is just money. And it's like, well, bro, you can make money in a lot of different ways on a lot of different things, but like at the end of the day, is it going to be meaningful to you if you're making money through means one that are like dangerous or illegal, or that because of your pursuit of money you actually don't have any time to spend with your children or your family, or you know, I just feel like that's part that gets me, that people, I think their lives, especially their youthhood, is being literally robbed because it's just like so unjoyful. Like, yeah, it's so like, I don't know, it's just saddening. Like, wake up, work, go home, sleep.
But you know,
work.
the American education system was designed for that purpose, to teach people how to be a part of the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
You know, when you do the research,
yeah,
it's sad, but they're raising us to be workers.
yeah.
But the thing I do like about this new society, this new generation, is that you guys are really doing your own things. There's so many entrepreneurs and digital creators and just different genres of work. Like you're coming up with your own ideas and doing your own things, and that's a plus, because my generation was stuck in those warehouses in that 12-hour shift, and like you say, you're working. Who's taking care of the kids? Who's interacting with your family? But I do have the money to pay the rent, but you don't even get to enjoy the house that you're paying for, you know? So that's definitely something to think about.
Vibes. Well, yeah, y'all let us know what y'all think for sure in the comments, because we also want to let y'all know that we're trying to have, episode maybe every now and then where we just get to read you all's captions, comments, questions, just to kind of build on the discussion, because, as this is an ever-going dialogue, with us and you all.
Right.
We want to be able to make it feel more like a dialogue with you all as well, because obviously we have a good time when we talk to each other. And we just want to create some space to be able to read you all's comments, also so that you all can also interact with each other's comments, if that makes sense.
Right.
And yeah, so please do be sharing like comments, questions, just ideas that come to mind while you're watching.
Because we definitely want to continue figuring it out with you.
That's right. Next time.
Bye.
Later.